continue in this match. For the Ramblers, it's about training gym mindset. Ramblers have had a really good practice gym. They bring that energy onto the court for competitions, and then a playoff mindset as this starts their run now, getting ready for not only this end of the regular season, but hopefully towards the postseason.
Punched up by Mangan. We are underway in Chicago. From the 10-foot line, block back. Thought 4 hits may have been called. R2 down, getting the point nonetheless is Jimmy Meinhardt to start things out. The Glenbird West Hilltopper grad.
Good start there for the Ramblers. Again, it's going to be really important to see how the Ramblers handle this match, how they approach this match. Solid so far.
Pass on the back set, nice dig. Able to flick it up just in time was Van Buren, but not enough. That went out of play. Good hustle there nonetheless by Van Buren. So again, getting the start at the libero position. J.J. Soa, let's see if he returns this, the serve. Float back, high return. Just out of play, good communication. Dominic Weigel, the libero out of Lubin, Poland, getting the start at the libero side for the Hawks.
Good swing by Meinhardt. Again, the middles continue to play at a pretty high level for the Ramblers.
Long set to the near side, sailing. Aline wasn't able to get there. Was that just a timing hiccup, I guess you could say, with Aline?
Just rhythm, for sure. Aline in the rotation 1 will hit from the left side. Take it back, excuse me, hits from the left side now in rotation 2. Likes to take a left. His swings cross court.
That's going to go out of play. So quick start 3-2 for the Ramblers over Quincy. We spoke about how these two teams have fared of late. As back to serve now is going to be number 15, Gieske, the sophomore to Plainfield Central.
Quincy went through a stretch where they were playing pretty solid in the beginning of the year and then hit a rough patch. Definitely had opportunities to get wins.
Set by Mangan. Through the triple block, just good timing. Hawks kind of prematurely jumped. Block was already starting to fall, the wall. Loyola just able to go over.
Sabakovic ends the match Monday versus Princeton with the 1-foot approach. Starts the match tonight with the 1-foot approach.
This time, yet again, Quincy still trying to find their footing. Set to the near side for Van Buren, and Van Buren is blocked back by number 5, Aline.
Van Buren probably hasn't seen an athlete like Aline in a couple matches.
The 6'6" junior out of Bridgetown, Barbados. His favorite national team to watch is the Polish national team, so I wonder if he has conversations with his teammate Weigel from Poland. Over the middle to Dean Meyer, almost going out of play. Nice dig by Weigel. Dean Meyer chopped up again by the libero Weigel, the 5'10" junior. Joust at the net, set back. Here, pin double block, long rally here. Not able to get his left hand underneath it was Dan Magan, frustrated with himself. Ramblers still have the 1-point lead.
Quincy's going to treat this match like it's their championship. They've gone through a rough stretch. We talked about the wins and the losses, but we also talked about just the fact that they played a lot of their matches on the road. They have this match, Lewis, and then they go back home for 5 straight.
Logan Brower, the sophomore out of Joliet West High School. Loyola able to come away with their 6-point. What I find interesting for this Quincy squad, a lot of Illinois products and then a lot of international products.
Yes, indeed. Coach Kemner's continues to recruit from the home base, which is Illinois, and St. Louis, also Wisconsin, the Midwest. But also then uses her contacts abroad to bring in high-quality players.
Have multiple players from Serbia, players from Brazil, from France, Hungary, as we spoke about, Barbados. Nobody from Evanston Township High School. I'm sorry about
Nobody
that.
there. But a lot of teams across the country are using more foreign players to help themselves out.
Yeah.
Ramblers have representation as well.
Yes.
Fabakovic with his kill.
Again, Fabakovic from the Czech Republic. Fabakovic back to serve now. Excuse me. Locked back in. Looking for the dig, running into the bench. Should be okay. Is Jajeski, the sophomore out of Northport, New York.
Ramblers with a nice job. Continues to block their strength. They had, Ramblers had, I think, 18 blocks against Princeton Monday night.
Again, that was a 3-1 victory against number 15th Princeton. Today, Quincy, and then Saturday afternoon at 5 against number 20th ranked McKendree. Before they head out of town to take those two teams in sequential order once again. So a lot of familiarity this next week and a half. High up by Fabakovic, far pin. Bring it down, Jake Reed. Loyola's doubled up. The Hawks right now, let's see what Coach Kemner's threshold is for timeouts.
Great defense by Fabakovic on the swing on the right side. Leads for transition swing for the Ramblers.
Fabakovic now. Float serve back row just goes out of play. Good communication, a 4-0 scoring run stopped on the service area. Outstanding officials today, your R1, Christian Kurzak. Tim McKinnon, you're also with us. John Weiss and Cinque Robinson joining us as well.
Nice job of the Ramblers getting out in that situation. Again, continue to handle the first contact, play at a really high rate. Ramblers have hit over 35% consistently throughout the season.
Quincy able to come back and get a point. Once again, we talked about Soa getting the start at the libero position. Nice to get some reps in this far, this deep into the season to really prove you have such a depth of position at the libero spot.
Talked about it with Coach Hawks, just the number of players that have gotten opportunity to play, and they continue to make positive impact. It doesn't really matter who you see out there in square. You've seen real positive play.
Yeah.
Nice job by Quincy on the block of Meinhardt.
Now, I did speak with Matty Oakley during warm-ups. He came over, said hello. Very nice gentleman. And I had to ask the question. I said, you shaved the mustache. What's the future of it? He said, I'm going to try to go it back, Pete. He said, might take a while, though. Near side double block. Nice up by Mangan. To the far side, Reed goes to the left side of the triple. Still in play for the Hawks. Another point for Quincy, and they are really coming back, and this one is a 5-point deficit, now within 2.
Ramblers are up 10-5. Now you see back-to-back real positive plays from Quincy.
Five and 11 overall are the Hawks. One win in conference play, but there's so much familiarity between these squads. Not to say you're going to throw the records out the window, but as you stated, much more evenly matched contest as Quincy within 1.
And Quincy remembers when they were able to come into Chicago and play a really tight match last year. They feel like they have a really good matchup against the Ramblers for whatever reason.
Nice pass up to Mangan. Oh, just the no look. Back flush. Smart awareness by Mangan Ray. Looked like the pass was a little too close to the net, so he did what looked to be one of the only few things he could.
And Mangan did a really nice job of just managing the situation.
To the near pin, left hand, Reed keeps it alive. Mangan back sets. Ramblers able to reset. From the 10-foot line.
Back row attack violation, looks like.
Good call, Ray. Good call.
So after starting attacking almost 60% for the Ramblers, now we've seen more attacking errors than we have positive plays in the last 6 or 7 plays.
On the back set, Reed able to get that one back, hold the thumb. We might have a challenge. A lot of the bench right now throwing their hand up. Let's see if Coach Kemner.
I think it was more wishful thinking than anything else right now.
Falling away, and Loyola gets another one, extending the lead back to 3.
I think what's important for the Ramblers is to understand the level of energy that Quincy's going to bring here this evening. Match that and try to do their best to hopefully surpass it.
Back row for Reed. Mangan. Nice job pass to the far side for Fabakovic. And that will be the media timeout. 15-11, your score. Halfway through set number 1 on ESPN.
And lately, done a really nice job running the offense.
What makes it so successful, Ray?
You know, I literally asked Coach Hawks about that today.
Okay.
And he talked about the system. And it's not so much the player, it's just how they play within the system.
Blocked back, just perfect placement for Dan Mangan. Heard us talking about him, and when you're setter, along with Van Buren, that front row can do so much. My goodness.
Coach Lee's blocking defense continues to shine.
Service error just past the back row.
And when you hear, you hear you talk about how it continues to shine, it's really about on the blocking side, how the players are able to get themselves positioned in the right spot, whether it's how they're lined up, good timing along those lines. Same thing for defense.
Yep.
Being able to be low, be stopped.
Jake Reed, 3rd on the team in most service errors, however, leads the team with 20 service aces, so you want to see that aggressiveness. But in the meantime, Quincy able to come away with the point back within 5.
Just want to remind people that Fabakovic and Reed are both freshmen.
Yep.
Not playing like freshmen, just playing at a real high rate.
Heard a phrase once, they're freshmen, but they play at a sophomore level.
Oh, these guys, like I said before, we talked about it, man, these guys are full varsity. Still play, but still keep playing.
Your side, Van Buren sends that one far. Not quite sure what the call was. I mean, the net moved, Ray, but talk me through it.
In that situation,
yeah,
the blocking action wasn't directly involved with the play.
Got it.
So that's where players, Christian Krychak, thought that the play continued because the net at that particular time was not directly involved in the action. It can happen sometimes when a player goes underneath the net. Could be completely under, but if they're not directly involved in the play, not causing injury, players can play on.
Back set, Van Buren. Just out of play, he actually ducked out of the way. Double.
Van Buren started the rally and ended it with high IQ.
Yeah.
Handled the serve in a 4-person serve receive, and then able to go up there and make a nice high swing off the block and just miss it, getting hit.
We discussed how well Mangan did. How about Van Buren along with Reed and Fabakovic? All 3 players double-digit kills on Monday. That one out of play, a service error.
Heard a lot about records for blocks and digs. Just really big numbers. And again, testament to the Ramblers, how they're able to play at a high rate on a Monday. It's a 4 o'clock match.
Yeah.
Just coming back from break.
Serving now, our player to watch, Roger Aline. The serve you necessarily wanted, and right now, Ramblers just keeping that safe 4 to 5 point lead. Quincy's need to make a comeback now.
Right, if the Ramblers continue, and you see Fabakovic either use a topspin serve or a jump float serve, even though he tosses the ball every single time it's spin.
Nice dig by Weigel. Oh, massive kill by the Hawks.
Good ear, nice swing on the outside. And you'll see that for Quincy. You'll see moments where they're able to put a ball away, make some positive plays.
Yep.
We saw the run at 10 serving 5, got it to 11-10.
Good ear, the Waukesha, Wisconsin product. Dean Meyer able to get that one right back in. We talked about how early in the season, Dean Meyer just trying to find his way in this year's squad, in the rotation, and boy, oh boy, has he come on strong out of Franklin, Wisconsin.
Again, there are other middles for the Ramblers that are also very capable to play. You see Coach come here, call a timeout here for Quincy.
20 to 15, go ahead.
Yeah, like the Ramblers have 7 middles, and all 7 have had moments of positive when they played.
Well, yeah, not only that, we talked about Jimmy Meinhardt as well. 9 blocks. Just numbers after number. Fabakovic, 8. Mangan, 7. All 3 registered career highs. I mean, but Monday was one of those days where it's like if you had the stat sheet, you were hoping that we got a new one today because everything's new.
Yeah, most definitely, and it's just fun.
Yeah.
And again, it's against good competition.
Correct.
These aren't matches against teams where, we can get a lot of stats and the like. These are quality teams played against a ranked team in Princeton, a solid team in Princeton. They're a very good team, going to do well in the EIVA. Ramblers are just executing offensively. Their systems are at a pretty high rate right now, and it's especially important as we go through March, get into April, big matches all around the MIVA, around the country.
Last time these two teams met, April the 1st of last year, that was a 5-setter that Loyola took 15-7 in the 5th, but it was a 2-0 start for Loyola. Quincy almost had the reverse sweep.
Correct. And the Ramblers know it, remember it. The Hawks know it and remember it.
His time on the set. Oh, nice up just to keep the rally going. He's good here. From the 10-foot line, sailing Loyola.
As you've seen the quick evolve for the Ramblers, you can now see more of the Bic. Teams have to commit against the middle attack of Loyola. It leaves a gap in the back row for players to attack. That time you saw Fabakovic coming in the Bic.
The lethal lefty Luke Anderson in now. Pass back on the free ball, setting up Van Buren over the top of the tape. Mangan resets. His time's it, but nonetheless, Quincy on the offensive, and that stays in.
Lean with a nice chop to area 1 on the back row attack.
When you have a free ball opportunity, Ray, how do you stay within yourself to say, okay, we have the time now, we have it in our favor to set it up properly without getting too far ahead of yourself?
Well, aside from the parents out in the crowd yelling, run it, a lot of times...
At least it's not you and I yelling.
Right on. Ideally, hitters have their areas, their zones to attack, and they like to do it with as much tempo and consistency as they possibly can go.
Double block, nice job with the left hand uppercut by Aline. Punch up by Weigel.
Here's your free ball.
On the back set, Van Buren just hit the outstretched left hand by Good here.
And the Ramblers are doing it right, and that free ball opportunity, there's at least 4 hitters available. 4 hitters against 3 blockers always gives you the advantage. When your setter's front row and is active, then you have 5 hitters available.
Mangan now to serve. Compression wrap on his right leg. Solid pass up. Soa now to the near side. Van Buren retreating away.
With a free ball chance.
Reed down. Great kill. Another one. Ramblers within 2.
Yeah, the Ramblers started off at 50%, attacking, dropped it down, and now they come back up again as Quincy goes in and makes a setting change.
Top serve by Mangan. Mangan running up. Looked like he was just a step ahead maybe, or a step behind, but frustrated with himself nonetheless.
Ball got touched by Van Buren off the block, changed direction.
Good here now. Taking his time before the serve. Mangan brings it back inside with the two-handed set. Uppercut. Quincy blocked back Van Buren. Soa sends that one into the bench. Hawks with another point.
For Quincy, another positive play. Still looking to be able to put strings of points together. Can they do it 2 times in a row? Can they do it 3 times in a row? If they're able to, it really puts pressure on the Ramblers.
The Maroon and Gold have won 28 straight against Quincy. Its last loss, April 15th of 2011. That stays another point for Van Buren. We're at set 1 point.
That's probably the best tempo set we've seen of
Yes,
Van
it
Buren
is.
on the outside this season. Usually that ball for Parker's a little bit higher, a little slower. That time he took it in rhythm and was able to get on the ball very quickly.
Back pass. Up in the air, Van Buren able to get to it in time. Vabakovic just floats it over. Weigel can't get there. And set 1 will go to the way of the Ramblers.
The same fight in her players to be able to compete at that level.
Picked up by Weigel. They're going to give the point to the Ramblers, so if you want to explain that to the viewers at home, Ray, where it actually hit and why that point went to the Ramblers.
So there is a wonderful circular display up top, and the ceiling's in play as long as the ball stays on your side. That time that ball from Weigel got dug up and it ricocheted across the net. Ended up being a point to Quincy, and then point to the Ramblers, and now Lane goes up and gets a kill himself.
What was the key to recruiting international players?
Contacts, I think, is the first thing.
Okay.
So if you're able to have a connector somehow, some way, that for sure helps, because it helps with translating any type of communication that goes on. And then the rest of it's just a relationship. You know, players abroad are looking for an opportunity if they can't play professionally in their home country. They want to get the experience of playing in America, which is great.
Yeah.
America's one of the few countries that has elite volleyball, but not a pro league. But the experience in America is pretty sweet.
Sure.
And then a lot of times, if you're able to get one player from a certain area, then and their experience is positive, they'll just spread the message to their, country mates, teammates, what have you.
I just can't get over Coach Kemner, some of the accolades. If you don't know, just go to the Quincy website, look up her bio. 1996, best female volleyball player in the world by the Federation of International Volleyball. I mean, that's a pretty good accolade.
Good swing there by Van Buren. And the Ramblers quietly have a lead of 2, looking to make it 3 or 4, hoping to force Quincy into an early timeout. For Quincy, they're working really hard right now to stay close.
Caspar pin, another one by Quincy. The signs are there, right? When situations like that sequence come to fruition, you say, all right, this team can keep up with anybody.
I'm not versed in all the sports, but I just know that consistent play always beats highs and lows, peaks and valleys. And in volleyball, you want to try to play good volleyball for as long as you possibly can, as opposed to making the amazing play every once in a while. Speaking of amazing plays.
Sailing through, outstanding play by Vabakovic. I was going to say it's like our broadcast team. You're the peak, I'm the valley, but it evens out to an acceptable broadcast.
We need to help you. We need to get you counseling, for sure.
Parker Van Buren, one of the most powerful servers in the MIVA. Outstanding play by Weigel. You saw him just kind of lean to his left, Ray. Made no contact. So talk me through the mindset. Weigel is 1.5 feet before the end line. serves coming his way. I mean, he went, excuse me, didn't mean to hit you there. He went matrix and just leaned out of the way. Is that within practice reps, like, hey, if it's coming at this point of my body, just get out of the way?
You are spot on. A lot of times you identify your time and space on the court. You track the angle and hopefully the pace of the serve. Sometimes you don't have that much time to do it, but a lot of times if the ball's above your waist, that knows that potentially the ball's going to be long.
And Bjorn delivers. Side set. Not able to get there. Mangan, albeit the point, goes to Quincy. They're within one. You got to appreciate Mangan, even if the play is, or the ball is unplayable, still wants to get there, still puts in the effort, and that's just a Coach Hawks-led type team.
Most definitely. And, you know, going back to the setting room, the three setters for the Ramblers, every setter's learning from the other setters. There are things that Mangan brings that the other setters learn from. There's things that Schobel brings that the other setters learn from. Things you see McElligott do. You know, McElligott's start in Hawaii to where he was before he was down. Like, he's been playing at a really high level.
Pass up, joust opportunity. Second there was the Hawks, playable now. Back bump to keep things alive. Was Keegan Carey, and 4 hits going to be called. They just couldn't get there.
During that rally, some really high IQ things from the Ramblers. Okay. Dabakovic with a really good dig in the back row. Ball was played up and real tight. Reed, instead of just making a negative play, played the ball into the block, recycled it, had a chance for another swing, ended up getting the point on the air from the Hawks attack.
Back set, just looking for the directional set. Hey, as long as it works, you'll take the point. Keegan Carey couldn't necessarily get any elevation, just directional set it. And the Ramblers were trying to converge on the block, found an open spot.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But it keeps Quincy involved, keeps them close, and they want to stay close. They want to be able to get to the media timeout if possible.
Through the triple block. Quincy still firing on all cylinders, up to 11 kills here in set number 2, and they're within 1. Similar circumstance in set 1. It was close still at this point before Loyola started to pull away.
Correct, you were right. Ended up going 10-5 at a point.
It's a hard hit, Ray.
It's great tempo for the Ramblers. And Reed was down for a little bit during the season, and he's worked his way back. Continues to play at a really high level.
Falling away. Ramblers trying to deliver on the near side. Once again, Quincy just flicking it over. Pass far pin. Through the triple, and that one stays in. Aline delivers.
Must note how Aline moving from the opposite to the outside, where he usually played on the right side of the court, wasn't involved in serve receive, now becomes a main serve receiver, and teams will identify him to serve him a lot. And you see that tonight for the Ramblers, has continued to step up his game.
Bounce back and just out of play. Good job communicating again by the Ramblers. Easier said than done. You know, if you sit at a spectator perspective, you're like, of course that's going to go out of play. But when you are underneath the ball, just trying to judge that trajectory, it can get you caught sometimes.
You want to have systems of offense, defense, and also of communication.
From the back row, out of play, a little too much behind it was Keegan Carey out of Concordia University, Irvine.
See it start again, 3-point run for the Ramblers. Ramblers want to extend it to 4. Quincy wants to do their best to stop the run.
Allowing Loyola to make a mistake is an easy way to do so. Back to serve now is going to be Logan Brower out of Shorewood, Illinois.
The fault there on his serve.
Yep. It's usually a very close call, and sometimes you've seen, you know, a little bit of wiggle room, but that was,
I will tell you.
please.
Ideally, there's no wiggle.
Okay. I thought maybe a shoelace.
No, yeah, maybe, but for the most part, that's one of the great keys for the line judges and also the officials to see.
Not able to handle it off the right arm is Brower. Loyola getting that 4-point lead in set number 2, and like we said, it was that 4 to 5 point lead that they got in set 1. Quincy wasn't able to come back.
It was 2 at 4 to 2, into 3, now we're at 4, little by little.
Aline pushes that out of play. He had the right idea to go near sideline. Nobody was there.
Right.
And nonetheless, not much you could do with it.
Let's see. Coach Kemmer's going to hold on here before the media timeout.
Good serve. Back set. Aline able to get the point back. Nice set by Brower. I always like to call it the setters where we can, Ray. And Brower, one of the nicer sets of the evening that he's had.
Again, Brower handles the second contact well because of a really good first contact. And Aline puts it away. And a good response for Quincy.
Yeah.
Now, Quincy has to work really hard on earning points back.
Dylan Feenley checks in, the 6-foot sophomore out of Wheaton, Warrenville South. A service ace. Aline trying to excite the team right now. That's a nice 2 in a row. Aline, 23 service aces coming in. Mark that his 24th now. Arguably the best server for the Quincy squad. It's the top. I mean, that is a fireball coming out of his hand. We'll take the
Ramblers. Even in the beginning of the year, Ramblers were hitting at a high percentage. When out to Hawaii, hit over 35%. Now the Ramblers have also added in the block and the defense to go along with the high hitting percentage.
And Buren looks back row with the serve. On the back set, and violation's going to be called, I believe, on Dean Meyer.
Net air on Deem.
So back to serve now is going to be number 20, Roman Derricker, the middle blocker senior out of Robiot, France. Just happens to float over the net. How did that angle happen? Aline says, I'll take the point anyway. Oh, the 10-foot kill. Oh. To me, one of the most beautiful things in all of volleyball, Ray. Look at this replay.
That is just athleticism at its best.
Did you ever recruit in France, Ray?
You know, not in France.
Okay.
In Europe, yes. In France, no.
Okay. You know, we'll have to talk to Coach Hawks. Maybe next off-season they'll have some scrimmages in France. And, of course, they're going to need to bring their broadcast crew with them. You know, we already said earlier in the season to take us to Hawaii. So, you know, might as well go international with the broadcast crew.
Might have to start going to somewhere like Fort Wayne, but we'll get there. See what happens. I talked about it before where Aline is going to be targeted a lot in service even that time. He was unable to go out of the way like you talked about earlier, being able to, you know, work their way out of the way of a serve.
Well, talk to me through when you're in the back row, your body positioning. I mean, you've got to be leaning forward with your hand. You and I talked about it after the game the other day, how you appreciate how players just seemingly footwork, hands down, palms up, more prepared. When you got the physical, ready, leaning forward momentum, it's got to be harder than all of a sudden just jump back.
For sure, but a lot of times it's balance. Understanding how you're able to be balanced to be able to make those adjustments as you need to.
And that's why
committing to a move.
And that's why I talk about it and don't play it. That went in. I will say my claim to fame intramural co-ed volleyball championships back in college.
Nice, so, the t-shirt and everything?
Got the t-shirt, nice. Got my name on a banner. I was the libero of the team.
Okay.
I not to say I found the ringers, but I said I found anybody who used to play volleyball, including one player who used to play for the women's team for the University of Nebraska. So me as the libero did not have to do a lot of work in the back row.
Sounds like good coaching. Good job.
But good recruiting. I took the t-shirt and smiled.
Right on.
As that far pin sails way into the bench.
Anderson gets a chance to get a second serve in. Stays consistent here as Quincy calls their first timeout.
Indeed, last was immediate timeout. We'll keep it here. You know, we talked about how well this team is doing offensively. Van Buren led the Loyola
Go and didn't think they could get to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think also it's in today's, you know, not to sound old timer, but today's day and age, never service ace right out of the timeout. So the rare reverse coach's point. But I think the yelling, screaming, throwing situation, paperwork, stopping the ground, I think that that age of that coach is kind of waning away at this point.
I would agree.
And so you have a player or coach, a coach's player, or a player's coach, I should say, in Coach Hawks that said, hey, I'm just going to talk to my team. And when I get upset, they'll know it, but it won't necessarily be vocalized.
Make no mistake about it. If you're not showing the effort that you need to, A, you'll get a talking to from Coach Hawks, and B, there are players that will step in the square instead of you.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for a lot of players and teams these days.
I thought you were going to say step into the squared circle. I'm like, oh, WrestleMania is coming up, so I mean, yeah, let's see what happens.
But again, for Coach Hawks, I think it's cool just to see, talk to him today about just, the combinations of players, talk about the systems of play, talk about the development of players, the continual improvement of all the phases.
Hitting the pin, and Quincy a desperately needed point to be within 5.
For this set, the Hawks are playing more consistent volleyball, staying within it, and really 2 plays away from a timeout.
Nice job sailing from behind. Oh my goodness. Had me fooled. I saw the hitter jump up right next to the setter. As we see on the replay, I truly thought that was going to go to Meinhardt. Nope.
Meinhardt comes in, gets the draw.
How do you practice that? I mean, is it always, with live action, live fire in the practice, or is it a lot of just jumping and timing drills as that one hits the far pin by the perch?
There's choice C, all the above. You want to get some rhythm, and then try to do it live so you can understand how to manage the situation. See Gottlieb in now for Van Buren on the right side.
Aline has it blocked, but that goes out of play. My goodness, just a super athlete and what he's able to deliver. Quincy still not out of it yet. Let's see what happens now. Looking at the serve is Blaise Hasek, the junior out of Firth, Nebraska. Now, I will say I'm going to need to look that one up, because for somebody like myself who lived in Nebraska, I do not quite know where Firth is.
No miscommunication that time for Quincy. Led to a double contact and a point to the Ramblers. So really important for Josh Gottlieb coming in here to get some good quality reps.
Reed on the jump serve. 2 away from set 2 victory. From the 10-foot line, finding good angle, Mangan able to retrieve. Directional set. Oh, it makes contact with Aline on the way down. Just a lucky fall for the Ramblers after a misguided pass. And we are at set 2 point, 24-17.
Nice IQ play by Gottlieb, making the play positive, leading to a point for the Ramblers.
Up by Sawa. Reed, break on through to the other side as the Ramblers take set 2 in convincing fashion, 25-17.
Ramblers made it to Quincy, and it's hard for a team like Quincy right now to maintain and sustain.
Looking at some of the numbers, Fabakovic, 11 kills, leading the offensive charge for the Ramblers. Ooh. The floorboard breaker. Aline delivers the first kill of set number 3.
I think Van Buren would like that play back, knowing how Aline takes many of his swings cross court, especially early in the set.
Good here now. Reed sends it to the near side bench.
This has been the best start for Quincy.
Yep.
And Quincy needs this.
Yep. What was discussed, or what do you feel could be discussed by Coach Kemner in between that second and third
Fighting,
set?
just continue to compete. Saw more competitive spirit from Quincy. They need to really put it together. Swings like that make it very difficult.
Jake Reed at 7 kills, Vabakovic 11. Make that Van Buren's 8. Aline now at 9.
You'll see teams, when they form a double block, have pretty solid consistency. As they go from 2 blockers to 3, there are times where there are more seams that can be formed because it's not just a consistent play.
Got that. Mangan not happy about it, rolls out the right forearm. Again, he gets so frustrated with himself. But again, as you've stated, as a coach, you want to see them be so active in the good and the bad plays.
Mangan's a good defender. He takes pride in his defense, does a really nice job.
To the near side off the double. Tip going to be called. Point goes to the Ramblers.
Ramblers back-to-back side outs have an opportunity now to tie it up on Meinhardt's serve. Aline's on his natural side, back behind.
Blocked back down. Dean Meyer wasn't able to get to that one. Was it a timing issue with Dean on that play?
Ideally for blocking, what you'd like to do is have good eyes, hands, and feet. And with your hands, you'd like to get your hands across the net to take away space. It's not so much how high you go up to block the balls, how far across the net your hands get across.
Huge jump serve. And the second violation called today.
Third, actually.
Oh, is it the third?
Yeah,
My
second on Aline, that's the one skill you have, and you have control over, which is your serve. So as aggressively as players would like to serve and attack the ball, you want to understand your time and your space is really important.
And Buren, back row. Nice pass up, near pin. Oh, that was just the timing so nice for Quincy on that return.
Good rhythm. Jeske with a nice swing cross court. She goes back to serve. Quincy still stays in it. Still holds on to their 2-point lead.
Brought back in Dean Meyer. Back set. Dean Meyer with the block. That one goes way out of play into the stands on the far side. And Quincy, not only a 3-point lead, one of their most convincing leads of the evening.
The one area we have not talked a lot about for the Ramblers has been the middle play. Not seen a lot of attempts on the quick.
Answering back is number 28, as we've seen all season, the freshman, Dan Vabakovic.
And as much and as well as the Pins are playing for the Ramblers tonight, Coach Hawks would really love to see balance from his setter and also from his team.
Ramblers currently rank in the top 10 in 3 NCAA statistical categories: kills per set, hitting percentage, and assists per set. It's a nice 1-2-3 punch for the offense of the Ramblers. Block back in, Jake Reed. Happy about that play, and just like that, nice 2-point run for the Ramblers back to within 1.
Nice job by Reed and Deem on the double block on the swing of Aline. Looks like Aline now has moved to, I'm just going to double check here and see if he's moved to the opposite now.
It indeed looks like he has. So right between the letters, power hit by the Hawks.
I can see that Aline in servicing patterns and attacking patterns does more action on the right. Just let me see how he lines up that way.
Served by Gieske. Mangan just floats it over. Good awareness once again at the net by Mangan.
Real good first contact from Reed on a solid serve from the Hawks. The ball was able to be set from Mangan. He went up that time, just went up and just threw it down.
Dean Meyer floats it over. From the 10-foot line, blocked back, Reed. Out of play. Point's gonna go to Quincy.
Good help by Reed that time on the back row attack from Aline. We've seen Aline go up and sky. Usually only with one set of hands to go against. That time he saw two sets of hands.
Mangan, high back set. Hawks snuffed that one out. Blocked back for Van Buren. 3-point lead extended for Quincy.
A nice set by Mangan.
Yeah, it was.
Good location, just unfortunate there for Van Buren.
Yeah, I mean, there was an isolation block, and it was on the near side. Mangan goes 6 inches to the right. Nobody's home. Mangan down to a knee. Back set for Aline. Off the shoulder.
You might see a timeout here soon from Coach Hawks.
That's a 10-6 lead, largest lead of the evening for the Hawks of Quincy. What are they doing so well in this third set, different than 1 and 2?
They're just battling right now. You know, it's a good reminder now for Mangan and the Ramblers. We remember the balance of their team, trying to find some quick. Tried to set the quick. That time hitting air.
And not happy about that one for Loyola. Jimmy Meinhardt.
See a timeout here.
And indeed it is your score 11-6.
Hawks with a 5.
We have a MIVA update for the out-of-town scoreboard between Ball State and Ohio State.
The big battle for first place in MIVA. Ball State currently up 2-1. 17-12 as we see it to Ball State. Ball State's up 2-1 in that one.
The glaring number looks like to be what set number 1 was 34-32. That is not a typo.
Just a battle. Lots of good competitive volleyball in the league and also in the country.
How do you manage that many points in deuce?
It's actually it's really fun.
Okay.
Because what you're trying to do is win 2 in a row. So you're trying to side out. That's 1 point. If you serve it, then you get a second point. That's it. That's your breakthrough to win. But if the team evens it up, no matter how it happens, whether it's a serving error, attacking error, or earned play.
They might have a challenge. Coach Mangan. You know when he's a coach on the court, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask this, because I've heard this before, and we'll talk about the review in a second. I've often heard waiting for that call stands on the field, or on the court, I should say.
Right now, for the Ramblers, it's about managing their side, period.
Quincy absolutely firing on all cylinders here, offensively, defensively, in this third set. Loyola, can that be the first point on their comeback attempt?
So this would be a good challenge for the Ramblers to not only work on the comeback, but how they come back. Can they still find balance? Can they still be gritty, playing the way that Coach Hawks would like to see them play?
Back row, no touch. Hawks thought they might have had the touch. Not sure if they're going to challenge it or not.
Good earned play from Quincy. High swing off the hand of Meinhardt. Meinhardt looked back, said, hey, yep, I did touch it.
Both serve near side Reed. Mangan over the middle. Able to be returned are the Hawks. Aline, oh, nice dig by Sawa. Fabakovic side bump for Mangan. Blocked back. That was coming my way. I was ready for it, though. I was ready.
See, now we're going to look for a setting change for the Ramblers.
Coming in now, Cole Schobel, the freshman out of Costa Mesa, California.
So a lot of times when you see attackers coming, talk about how they would like to, how they attack the ball, kind of what their shot chart is. For setters, you see how Schobel has a different style when he plays. I won't. Some people might call it more risky.
Okay.
For sure, likes to set the ball around at different players on a regular basis. Finds the quick a lot.
How much comes into preparation and coaching versus the feel of the game?
That's a great question. Sometimes when you make subs, it's distinct.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just on feel.
And the Quincy faithful getting loud. A 7-point lead for the visiting Hawks.
The Hawks are feeling good about themselves, which history will tell you that Quincy, especially here on the north side, will not quit.
Well, it's one of those contests where, you know, there's so many Midwestern teams in this conference, of course, with name considering, but it's one of the closer games for this Quincy squad to have their home base travel. And the back row, a little bit of miscommunication there. As Goodyear and Aline both let it kind of drop at their feet, and somebody's got to call it.
Yeah, Quincy is an Illinois school. They have representation in the Chicago area with players from the burbs. And it's a great chance for the players of Quincy that are local. Great serve from Van Buren.
Van Buren with a beautiful service ace. Ace is the place for Van Buren.
So for Quincy to have solid representation, good fans come out, get a chance to see their players, their kids and relatives play.
Besides doing so at the service line, Van Buren sits at number 2 in the MIVA with kills per set rankings and 7th nationally with an average of just about 4 kills per set. And just like that now, lead back to 6. Serve goes to the Hawks. That one stays in play.
There's a freshness for Schobel coming in. For those who haven't seen Cole Schobel play before, he's been known to turn on to snap on balls.
Babakovic with the service error.
Seen back-to-back errors for the Ramblers, where the Ramblers have served at a pretty high rate this season. They have an error rate of under 20%, and that's in the men's game. That's pretty solid, especially when we talk a lot of times how a volleyball match on the men's side gets choppy. There's a lot of serving errors.
Reed with a set, dropping down pass back to Reed. That stays in. Reed, you could tell he was kind of shuffling his feet when the serve came his way. Hey, whatever works.
Yes, indeed. And Schobel made the ball better by using his hands, sliding on his knees to play the ball up in the air.
Loyola Chicago, we talk about how hard of a schedule they have had. It ranks number 7 on the NCAA's toughest schedule report with a .618 opposition win percentage. Pass far pin, Reed switches right to left hand. Again, whatever works, Ray. Whatever works.
D. Meyer in his audition to be the libero for the Ramblers had one arm stab earlier, laid out for a second ball. But it talks about the grit of the Ramblers.
Can the Ramblers come back in this one now? D. Meyer with the float serve. Pass near pin. Hits off the ceiling. Playable. Van Buren. Bump for Reed. Reeds up the attack for the Hawks. Aline has to just set it over. Opportunity now for the Ramblers. Reed sends it out of play. Ramblers back within 3. And Coach Kemner may be calling a timeout soon.
Good call.
And indeed she does. 18-15.
To come to them, be the aggressors, find ways. And now Meyer's done it in a way we don't normally see it. It's from his serve and also in defense.
Correct.
But at his peak, he's playing great in the front row with his stuff blocking and also with his attacking.
D. Meyer with the service error.
Good timeout from Quincy to get to 19. So it's really now on, again, Meinhardt puts himself in a spot to where he has the time and space to attack a ball in a gap and score.
Down to a knee. Pass backside Van Buren. Point's going to go to the Ramblers. Some of the assistants right now, Devin Walker for Quincy.
Coach Walker was looking to see if maybe Meyer's foot toe was on the line, and I'm not so sure I would, I think he might be right. He might have been right. Either way, it's still gone on, and we continue to play.
Yeah, we already had another point since then. Correct. So the show goes on. 20-16 your score. Hawks need 5 to send it to 4. Deep breath before the delivery. Returning the favor. Ramblers back within 3.
4 teams that have not found a lot of success. When they get to that 20-point mark, do they know how to win? Do they know how to go from 20 to 25?
Over the middle. There's that quick one that you were talking about, Ray, that you wanted Loyola to do more of. Well, the Hawks delivered one right on the spot.
Really nice job from the Hawks to get to 21. And again, it's not the fact that Quincy can't do it, just have not done it in a while.
Good job in the back row yet again for the Hawks. Down and kill. Sawa can't get there. Hawks need 3. They are within striking distance as now Coach Hawks tries to regroup the troops for the Loyola Ramblers, trailing 22-17.
Quincy is earning this 3rd set, playing at a high level, doing some really nice things. Ramblers started off pretty slow and haven't had the It's still a good chance for the Ramblers here.
Sure.
It's harder. Yep. It's more challenging, but it's for sure capable.
Well, Coach Hawks has used both of his timeouts. Quincy still has 1 in their pocket. So should the Ramblers make a run, Coach Kemner can slow that down. Not going to happen there. Beautiful net play and defense by Quincy.
So one of the other differences right now for the Ramblers is their first contact. Ramblers would like to be able to handle the first contact to have as many hitters as available.
Out of play. Good job by J.J. Sawa getting out of the way.
There's a point sometimes as a coach where there's things you would like to happen and things that actually end up happening.
Beck said that's going to be a double hit called. The rare double hit, but called nonetheless.
That one was pretty, what's the word, egregious.
Okay. Knocked back, nice up by the Hawks. Rinse and repeat. They were able to break through on the 2nd attempt from the exact same spot, and the Hawks are now at set 3 point.
Good job by Krzyzewski to take that ball through the seam. Little space there between Meyer and Van Buren.
Quincy fans on their feet.
You could see Elaine probably go for this one.
I wouldn't see why he wouldn't. Set over the middle of Dean Meyer, out of play. And set 3 goes to the visiting Hawks. Can they find a victory in set 4 to send it? Let's talk about Loyola, the home team for this one. What do they have to do to close things out? What worked in sets 1 and 2 that we didn't necessarily see in 4?
I think the biggest thing right now for the Ramblers is being able to stay at a high level. And that was going to be one of the challenges. And this is a challenge for this match and moving forward about being able to play at that high level.
Okay.
You see, we talked about it getting more quick involved. So now for the Ramblers, you'll see Klein in and also Montplaisir. They both come in now as the 2 middles, change in the middle core for the Ramblers. But for Montplaisir and Klein to be involved, it's good, especially offensively, it's going to really depend on the first contact of the Ramblers.
One thing I've noticed today, and maybe not all season, but both teams have very active, very vocal assistant coaches. Do you seek coaches maybe that have a different demeanor than yourself when it comes to the assistant? Like, what's the mindset of going into these two successful assistant coaches and what you've seen in your career?
You want to find staff members that compliment you, challenge you, help you, as opposed to being yes people.
All right.
You know, for the Loyola staff, there's really good balance with the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, where Coach Hawks then can kind of help be the CEO of the program and really kind of put it all together.
Left-hand serve, that stays in. Another ace. You got a tape ace on the first one. That one just stays in near side. Bottom dropped out behind the back line. Oh, my apologies. My apologies, Ray.
That one just a little bit long.
I saw one of the line judges point down, and you know, first instinct.
Yes, it was in wide. You are correct. Just a little long. Nice swing by Reed. Reed ends with a nice swing. Would like to be able to handle the first contact a little bit better to allow more hitters to be involved, but still a positive play for Loyola.
Oh my goodness, free ball floated over. An absolutely devastating blow by Danny Fabakovic.
So the Ramblers want to get themselves back on track.
Yes.
Show that, you know, what they didn't do in the previous set.
Answering right back with the old anything you could do, I could do better. Aline delivers a crushing blow.
Aline with good range, taking the ball down the line, which one of the rare swings he has down the line on the left side.
Serving now is good here. Very meticulous in his delivery of the serve. Able to keep it. Wow, wow. Back row out of play. Point goes to the Ramblers. What hustle by Fabakovic.
That's the grit from the Ramblers. Again, we'll talk a little bit about the first contact, not the cleanest, but the Ramblers have done now back-to-back plays, hustling to still stay involved, keep the play alive.
When you were coming into serve now, let's give credit where it's due.
Montplaisir.
Montplaisir's in the red-shirted junior out of Irvine, California. That one falls in right in front of him.
My sounds are from the height of where Aline attacked that ball. That's right in front of us.
Yes.
And he's high over the block, and the block is not small.
Back set. Playable opportunity. Look at that, getting the point over the middle, number 27, Aiden Klein, the middle blocking freshman, out of
ETHS.
Evanston Township.
E-Town represent.
See, that's why I'm hoping that one Ryan Jacobson for Quincy plays, because he went to my alma mater.
Okay.
We can have a first ever alma mater v alma mater matchup. Directional set. Miscommunication there. Trying to swing with the left hand. He wanted it, but couldn't quite deliver with Schobel.
I want to go back to play before where Klein had the overpass and was able to put it down. One of the key factors in that particular play was the communication from Van Buren, talking a whole bunch about the ball was coming over. Klein had not seen action yet, and so for Van Buren to communicate, to let him know what was going on, to make it a positive play, is a really good leadership move.
That's going to hit the scoreboard. Underhand, Aline able to get there. Oh, my goodness. Thumb up in the air. That one falls down, goes to the left foot of Aline. There's not much he can't do.
Again, we saw a good hustle from Aline. Ended up going underneath the net a little bit, but didn't interfere with play. First official allows the players to continue playing on Fabakovic with a really nice swing down the line in transition.
High back set to Aline. Out of play. Fabakovic, I mean, he just planted his heels and dove out of the way.
Fabakovic dove out of the way. Usually want to try to get hit by the ball, but that time avoided it with great skill.
When you were coaching setting, Ray, did you kind of just allow players to have their own style in terms of, all right, I'm going to take a deep breath, spin it 3 times, take 2 steps and go? Did you try to coach into them a method or a tempo?
For their serve or for their setting?
Serve. Excuse me.
Yeah,
serve.
for their serve. Everyone's got a rhythm. Everyone's got a routine. And that one dribbles over that time to score for Quincy.
Who doesn't love a nice tape ace?
Jeski, nice play. Every player should have a routine no matter what age.
Okay.
Whether you're serving on the ground, taking it to the air, underhand, and hopefully in your routine it involves a breath.
Quincy comes away with another one. They are back to within 1. Nice little run here.
Ramblers being challenged right now to play a little bit past the scouting report.
And Coach Hawk's getting some different players in rotation. Reed delivers near pin.
So you see the change for personnel. Still looking for those players to get involved. Klein and Montplaisir.
Underhand swing, and that one goes a bit too far. Again, the uniqueness. Let me ask you this. Say a player asked Ray, coach, help me through getting a rhythm in my serve. What was usually the mindset there?
Well, a lot of it's talking about your toss and consistency of the toss.
Okay.
Your approach pattern, then how you load yourself up and then unload when you attack the ball. And a lot of times players will go with a footwork pattern, whether it's 4 steps or something close to it.
Okay.
Being able to have a good, consistent toss, attack, and jumping towards the ball, towards the line, reaching up high, and contacting it with consistent contact.
Not able to get there is Weigel.
Great block move by Reed again against Aline. As the match goes on, you see the block more in play as players get a little bit tired, not attacking as aggressively or as freshly as they were in sets 1 and 2.
Far side off the double. Playable Sabo with a nice pass. Massive kill for the Ramblers from the 10-foot line. Lead back up to 4, one of the biggest leads that the Ramblers have had since set number 2.
When Schobel was in his rhythm, he was one of the better servers on the Loyola team.
The lefty. Set far pin. Oh, just a misguided pass by Dylan Feely out of Wheaton, Illinois. That may be the timeout.
Quincy calls.
13-8 your score. Loyola has a firm lead here in set number 4, but we have seen Quincy battle back time and time again. For Ray Gooden, I'm Peter Ferreri. The lefty delivers yet again.
That's coming.
Nice catch. Nice catch. You see my hands on the near side clapping for our teammate at the booth. The R2 almost issued a warning, I believe, for early touch. No, I'm just kidding. Great play.
No safe spaces here.
Loyola gives the point right back on the... Well, think about it. For those that didn't get a chance to watch Princeton at Loyola on Monday, you and I, we both had some quality touches here, Ray.
Lots of action going on. Head's always on a swivel.
Yeah, we had the whole bench in front of us just slide us back a good 1.5 feet, so...
Ramblers just went through a 5-0 run.
Back set, right hand over Reed, just with good placement. Points can go to the Ramblers, double hit call. That was just that quick flick off the net back. For those asking, we did confirm Monday as of now the men's game will not be eliminating double hits next year. As of now, it has been voted for the women's collegiate game. They will have eliminated the double hit. Pass up to the net. Far pin again. Ramblers rolling right now, 16-9.
Yeah, and you heard me talk a little bit earlier how the Hawks were challenging the Ramblers to play a little bit outside of the scouting report. Quincy did a nice job of being able to be in the proper spaces.
And
for
another
the attack for the Ramblers. Excuse me.
No, please, a 17-9 your score. I was going to ask the question, do coaches Kemner and Walker utilize their second timeout right now?
It'll come pretty soon, if not have a substitution.
Here's the substitution. Alexander Sosa checking in, the freshman out of Serbia.
It looks like Sosa's had limited action this year.
To Sosa delivering right off the bat. Near side, Sosa gets it blocked, but it goes out of play, and just like that, slamming Sosa gets a point. Back within 7 are the Hawks.
A lot of times the players who want to come in, would like to have impact as much as they possibly can. Sosa does a nice job taking the ball off the block to score.
The uppercut by the Ramblers to keep it alive just rattles through Van Buren's hands. Another one for the Hawks.
Okay, Sosa comes in, swinging a kill, real solid serve, gets a chance to serve again.
Sosa, a little bit of a spark plug now for the Hawks.
That serve just missed.
Close play, close serve. Did you ever challenge a serve in and out?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Most definitely. I think if that serve is pretty definitive, that it went out of bounds.
Jack Yentz checking in, the redshirted senior out of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, getting some playing time now. Directional set goes right to the aforementioned Yentz. A lot of excitement over the middle for number 20, Derek Hare.
Big triple block for the Hawks on the back row attack from the Ramblers.
Ramblers need 7 to take this one in 4 sets. Rolls off the chest. Not able to get there is good here.
I think it's a good match for the Ramblers to go back and watch and be able to understand the positives, but also understand how the way that the Ramblers play will have to improve to play for a championship.
A service error for the Ramblers keeps Quincy alive. Good crowd in attendance today. Softball team also here. Back row tip going to be called. Ramblers within 5.
Okay, nice job by Van Buren, showing a little bit more range. A lot of times Van Buren swings to go high cross court. Quincy's done a nice job of being able to identify that, manage that swing. That time Van Buren takes the ball more down the line to score.
Softball starting at home on the 23rd of this month versus George Mason. All those games on ESPN Plus. Floating in from the 10-foot line. Can the Ramblers reply? That stays in. The lefty delivers. Now, just a fun question. Did you try to at least have 1 or 2 lefties on your team?
I mean, you
strategically speaking.
Ideally, we'd love to.
Okay.
You see Quincy now call their timeout. The chuckles for the tempo set from Sawa out there. Now, it's not a match you can kind of go away. If we lose this, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Every match is going to count.
So, you know, if we're talking 80s pro wrestling, the Road Warriors, if I'm Hawk, are you Animal? Are you Hawk, I'm Animal? Left hand. I could see you being more on the Animal side, the power slam guy. You know, I was more the finesse if I were to ever, you know, try to compare and contrast. So folks at home, if you see us in face paint next game, you will know why.
If you see me in face paint, then you might need to call somebody.
That one out of play. Ramblers need 2 to come away with the victory. All Ramblers, and you got to give credit where it's due. Coach Hawks pulling the strings right now, putting in a lot of different players in this set, and it's all worked. That one falls.
Ball lands right in front of Yintz.
I think he's okay.
In a tough spot.
Also in Keegan Carey, the grad student out of Concordia. Or excuse me, mark that. Colton Brooks is also in out of Pleasanton, California.
Gottlieb also made the return back in. Gets set. And a positive swing from Gottlieb. That's a cool play.
All smiles for Gottlieb. Out of Wheaton, Illinois. Fans on their feet. Ramblers at match point. 24-14. Back to serve number 20 for Loyola. Evan Markworth out of LaGrange, Illinois, the pride of Lyons Township High School. Ten-foot line, blocked back, nice up by the Hawks. Block back, hits the shoulder. The lefty, down, kill. That's gonna be it, that's gonna be all she wrote. A Shovel bomb finishes off the Hawks 25-14 in 4 sets.
Enjoy the energy from the Ramblers. Like the fight